What's the next hot take you got for us? Talk to us.
So I know y'all saw, that Caitlin Clark should go to the big three for the 5 mil.
Yeah.
I actually say that, a lot of people said she shouldn't accept it. She should. I've been,
Oh wait, before you say that, keep in mind it's been doubled to 10 million now.
I think she should do it, but don't get me wrong. I think that she should do it because I think bridging that gap would be a good play, but I also understand that she's not playing how she's gonna play in the NCAA with these ex NBA players. But I do think that would be really interesting to see. I think that she would be reduced to a role. She would struggle, maybe, but I think that would be really interesting to see, and especially because I think he didn't even need her to play a full season. I think it's like 3 or 5 games. She
Yeah.
get that. She get that 10 mil. She let's be like her rookie contract would be like 70, 75K. And yes, she's
Oh,
gonna have a crazy
wait,
deal.
what?
Yeah, WNBA rookie deal is not gonna be a lot. It's not gonna be that much. But don't get me wrong, she's gonna get the bag with Nike. She's gonna get the bag with so many different people with her and her and her and Fever, they're gonna have a very, 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 very good relationship. Especially like with her and Boston, they're gonna be like a tandem. But I think that would be a risky move, but it will continue to raise awareness that women hoopers are nice. I think that we have to look at the fact that they're not the same, but like they're nice. Like you go to like if you try to play a WNBA, you try to play a D1 girl, like they're gonna cook you. And I think like
The-
that would be interesting to see how. I just think that it could possibly go wrong if it goes bad, but I would be interested to see it because I think that she could do something.
Indeed.
Should definitely take the money, in my opinion, because you brought up a great point. I didn't realize that the salary cap is like 250K for a player in the WNBA. Like
Yeah,
they don't the salary cap for the team is like 1.5 mil. Like
yep,
there's some players making $1,600 for a season.
yep. I
Like
think,
you still got to go work a part-time job after that.
bro, they go overseas. Like they a lot of them make more money overseas. Like I think that would be a good money.
What?
That would be a good money. It would be a good money move for her. But it would also be like I think sometimes when people make like these new trends or new ways in the industry, like they may end up being the martyr where it doesn't work out for them as well. But you know, I look at it like this: if Kaylin Clark goes and she doesn't do well, she still has $10 million. But you know what she's gonna then go and do? Fuck up the WNBA. So it's not like, oh yeah, she's not valid no more. It's just that nah, like she got her coins, and don't get me wrong, like there's gonna be some teams and some players in that league that she's gonna be because she's gonna be in better shape than them. She's not gonna be able to body them, but if they she may able to get her points off. But I think that it would show the people that she can play the best of the best. Don't get me wrong. There's some players in that big three that are like few years removed from the league, but there's some of them that are also very, very, very like out of shape and are very much retired, like guys who are just coming out to play. And I think that that would be a big move, especially where it's like, okay, well, if they're paying her 10 million for these 3 to 5 games, whatever, let's start to get the talks about getting the WNBA paid more. And yes, that comes down to the sales and things like that. But I think that also there's a big disrespect to women and being able to play. Being from the DMV, obviously we see like the top talent from men and women, and I personally played against women who have cooked me. I've seen cook other people who are really good, and I think that she would be able to hold her own. I'm not saying she would be successful, but I think that that would be a really thing that a lot of people need to see. But I think regardless, she needs to move her coins because she's gonna get that. She's gonna get that deal. The deal that they gave Sabrina Ionescu, they really should have gave that shoe to Caitlin Clark, which makes me think whatever shoe they got for Caitlin Clark's gonna be crazy, and I will be getting that shoe.
So wait, and it was a good point that you brought up about her getting her coin, but I was talking about this with Dan, I think a couple of pods ago, but I think that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese entering the WNBA now, this is like they're now entering like their expansion era, the WNBA, where you're gonna actually see people watching the WNBA a lot, and they're gonna be generating more revenue to establish a higher price. Essentially, kind of how like the Bill Russell years, it's like won like 7, 8 straight. But it's like, are you really gonna go watch the NBA when the same team keeps winning over and over again? They're more in like the Magic and Larry Bird era now.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm not sure if I saw, but like Golden State is gonna have the Golden State area is gonna have a WNBA team in 2025, 2026 or whatever.
Yep. Yep.
And I think like that expansion I'm excited to see. I think there needs to be an expansion. Quite frankly. They have you know how like common it is that the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth pick get cut now? Like that's how crazy. Like if you look like the fourth pick, I think from 2021's draft got cut during training camp. Like the number two player from one draft, bruh, the only two players that usually like at least make it the first year, at least, is the first pick in the draft and maybe the second. It's so cutthroat in the WNBA, and there's so much talent. Like for instance, Abby Myers, UMD alum, she came and played her grad year after I think playing at like Princeton or whatever. She was killing. I remember she was killing, and she was the 10th pick in the draft for the WNBA, and she got waived, and then she got waived after getting drafted. She got signed by the Mystics, waived, signed by the Mystics, waived, signed by the Mystics, waived. She got signed and waived 3 different times, and you can't tell me she's not nice. But there's not enough space in the league for players. I think they need to expand because I think they got Angel Reese going number 6 to the Mystics, which I think would be really cool for her to come back into the hometown. But like they like Cardoza is probably gonna go 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously no. Let's be real. Kayla Clark going 1, but like Cardoza's going like 2.
Absolutely.
And like there's so much talent that's coming up because women's hoops, like shout out Kobe and shout out all the other people who have worked hard to like elevate the game. Like there needs to be an expansion because there's too much talent who have to go overseas just all the time, or honestly sometimes get pushed out the game because there's not enough spots in the league. And respectfully, Diana Taurasi needs to retire. Like you're holding that spot on, and you're like 40, you're like 42, 43. Like you gotta
42 bullying these little girls. Can you chill, gang?
bro. She has to. She needs to retire. Like she's holding up roster spots, bro. Like I don't know. There's not enough. There's not enough spaces for people to be doing like their farewell tours times 5.
Times 5 is crazy.
Yeah, she's wow. Yeah, she's really been playing that long. Diana Taurasi, I did not know that.
Bro, she's been playing for a long time, and I heard like she's not even trying to give up her USA spot, so she's gonna try to go to Olympics this year. Like
she got smoked for Caitlin Clark. Y'all heard that?
Bruh, I don't get it. Like respectfully, Caitlin Clark is changed the game. Like not just her. I hopefully I know there's gonna be people that watch this that are gonna be like, oh, this Caitlin Clark. Don't get me wrong. So much women's March Madness here changed the game. There's so many players that changed the game, but Caitlin Clark, talking about her like singly, like she changed women's basketball this year, and she's gonna change it next year. Like she's gonna have what like the generational level of change that Steph Curry had to the game. Like LeBron, Michael Jordan, and Kobe don't have the same effect that Steph Curry had. Steph Curry was the first guy with average athleticism and like very not even average height to the NBA, but very like a regular sized human showed that I'm going to kill the best athletes in the world. Like he changed the game. Like literally he changed the game. Y'all remember how when you were playing like Boys and Girls Club were playing in recess, how people used to play, and then randomly by the time we were like in 7th, 8th grade, people started shooting a little behind, a farther behind the 3-point line. Next thing you know, like bro, you go nowadays, bro, like these 8-year-olds are really like they're shooting from deep. But like I think like Clark is gonna have that. And she's had it, and she's gonna have it. Like so many people are gonna watch the WNBA this year. Like I'm not sure y'all saw like when they play the Sun or someone, like they're moving to the regular arena because, and I feel that's gonna happen when the Mystics play them this year because they play an ESA, which is where the Wizards and the Go-Go practice and play, and where the Mystics usually play. But they're gonna probably have to move her to Capital One because so many people are gonna want to see her play. Like,
absolutely, I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, you might want to start getting your tickets then. You don't want to get like you might want to get them now. I guess in
Get the
yesterday.
tickets now,
bro. Tickets are dropping, bro. You might want to get them tickets now because them just gonna be sold out. They're gonna be expensive, and they gotta move that to Capital One because that's must see TV, and it's not just her. So many people, and I think that
I feel like I see what team these players go to first. Oh, there's really only like
bro
10.
There's like 10 or 12 teams. They don't even have a conference. It's just the top teams go to the playoffs.
Oh yeah. They got an Eastern or Western Conference, but they don't got any divisions or anything.
Because they don't have divisions, but I think it's still like just the best teams in general to go. Like, but I think like it's very like you're an enemy of progress if you're hating on someone who is transcending the game. Like Sue Bird and Tarasi were like those original people, and I think like people like Jordan, like not Jordan, yeah, people like Jordan, people like LeBron. Well, I'll say probably more Kobe were very much like, oh, like I pay homage to the people before me and I pay homage to the people after me. And I think that it's sad to see such a big person in the WNBA for women's basketball hating on someone who is continuing to like move the game forward. Even Don Staley said like they won. No one talked about the fact that they lost all their starters and they went undefeated. Like that's hard shit to do. We've seen Kentucky shit the bed with Karl-Anthony Towns when they lost. Like we've seen like that time again where like people just get to the last game and they're undefeated and they can't make it. You see that even when they're not undefeated, they can't make it. But like they really did that and they faced so much adversity that we didn't even talk about in the media. And they even in their 15 minutes of fame, they said, I want to thank Iowa and I want to thank Caitlin Clark for transcending women's basketball, like for what you're doing for the sport. Because at the end of the day, like that's bigger than this championship. And the fact that you're paring down that is like you're an enemy of progress. Like you should be thankful. Like even all the greats said like, you know, some people, their stuff, they want to be the GOATs, but they're like, yeah, I shouldn't be the GOAT in X amount of years. There should be someone that's inspired. The game should continue to move forward to where there's always going to be someone in that conversation. And I feel like that was very kind of nasty of Diana Taurasi. And hopefully she either recants her statements or she realizes it. But if not, we all know when Caitlin Clark play her, she's going to drop like 50.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see that game. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've never watched a WNBA game. But before this year, I never watched a Women's March Madness game. So honestly, if I'm looking as a Wizards fan, if I'm looking between the Wizards and the Mystics in these coming years, I might be going to Mystics games over Wizards games. I'm being honest to you.
Yeah, I would advise you to make that investment.
Yeah, I'm seeing they got some packages right now, but hey,
bro, that's the beauty of it. Like you said you haven't really watched, you didn't really watch Mystics, you didn't really watch like Women's March Madness, but like that's the thing. Like we can't all act like we were all there from the bottom. About a year or two ago, I probably also couldn't name that many hoopers in college basketball. But like the thing is, the game has changed, and we just all have to like just now appreciate it and don't compare it to like anything else. Like if you like, for instance, people were like, oh well, Juju Watkins had X amount of points, but she shot like a very inefficient. What I've learned and what I've been told by one of my friends who is a very big WNBA advocate, like he said that women's game is a little different in that it's more about just like putting the ball in a basket. And I think like that's fair. Realistically, Brittany Griner was like a cheat code. Yeah, she should shoot efficiently. But like where the athletic difference is not as much, like there's not like you're not gonna be dunking, you can't out athletic your way. Like it's really a lot of skill work and like the type of basketball is different. You're not gonna see as efficient shooting numbers. But but like a bucket's a bucket. I don't care. Like we've moved past that era where like I think people stereotypically saw women's basketball being like, oh, like they're running into each other, they're falling on the ground, they're missing wide open layups. Nah, there's a lot of girls who can, for instance, a lot of girls that can dunk. There's a lot of girls who are out there hooping like the way
Doing
that
both moves, body to body, a whole lot, of course, absolutely.
like come on now, it's real, like it's real hoops right now. Like it's real, as they say, ethical hoops going on. Like, and I think like we need to be excited because like it's only going to continue to get better. Like it's gonna be a point where we're gonna be like that, that down period after the NBA season's over, and I feel like people only watch the WNBA because they just needed something to watch because there's like no hoops going on.
Yep.
Now people will be like, yo, like I'm trying to watch the WNBA tonight.
Yeah, but the draft isn't that far away. So the attention is already kind of here.
I'm just glad that we get to live through this era because I feel like over the years, it's like you've been saying, Ian, like a lot of like women-based sports haven't gotten their respect and due, and I feel like we're actually seeing that turn of leaf. And hey, I might have to hit up the Mystics to become an investor before it gets too big.
So yeah.
All right, but what's your last hot take you got for us? Talk to us.
I touched on it a little before, but I think that Bronny, again, I'm gonna go into more of a rant about why I think Bronny should really go back and go to Duquesne. I think that would be a really interesting move. I think that Bronny at this point has shown he can play really good defense. I think he's shown that he does a lot of intangible stuff like dive on loose balls, guarding best man. Like he has a pretty decent feel for the game, but because at the fact that he's not the tallest, he's not the biggest, he needs to develop a little more where I think he will become like that backup point guard, backup two and D, like 3 and D 2 guard. Like I just think he needs to show that. And I think on one hand, we talked about earlier, yes, you can just kind of go in and take your name and be like, well, that's my name, like in this go. But I think that having one of your dad's best friends be the coach and to really have a chance. Like I've just seen like, for instance, like Keyshawn Hall, I talked about him earlier. I saw what playing at A10 did for him. I think that Bronny has a even bigger like pass where if he just shows like a lot of improvement this year, I think he would even be a lottery late first round at the latest. But I don't see him on any draft boards at this point. And I think that even with declaring, people would be like tipping their hat to draft him. But like, I think that you have to think longevity versus like, oh, like I could really make history and play with my dad. Like, at the end of the day, Bronny, he's fine regardless. He could stop playing basketball today. He could be fine. Let's be real. But I think that, but if you really want to like do what's best for your career, you show potential, you show some good, but you didn't show enough to be drafted. And I think like he has the opportunity to go somewhere else and just kill and to really work on his game and to try to add the stuff that can make him have like more longevity in the league because he has like that Derek. He has like he's a Derek White type of guy where he's a very glue guy. He can hit you like a standing catch and shoot three. He can guard. He catches pretty well. Like he just does. He's a winning player.
Wait, hold on. We're not gonna act like that wasn't crazy.
How is it
crazy?
Your dad is LeBron and your player comp is Derek White.
Is Bronny James 6'8", 6'9" with generational athleticism? No.
You're right. And I ain't gonna lie, LeBron low key sold. I mean, he married his high school sweetheart, but he sold. Let's be serious. He did not give his kids
Stop.
No. I'm gonna say this.
Stop.
He's 6'8". Even if his wife was like 6 feet tall, I'm pretty sure Savannah's like 5'4" or something.
What are you doing?
Am I tripping?
Yes.
You're hilarious.
Bro, I'm just saying he could have given his kids the genetic lottery. I mean, literally look up Zach Edey's parents. Look up Wembanyama's parents. His mom was like some international women's basketball player. She's like 6'6", and the dad is even shorter. I think he's like 6'4", and he's 7'6".
Brian, take the exit on your right, please.
Nah, bro.
I'm tripping.
Take the exit on your right, please.
That was a crazy. That was crazy.
I'm just saying,
Omaha.
if LeBron was really thinking long game, let me give my like he's gonna be a billionaire in his own right. You know what I'm saying? I think he's taking like the Jordan route. He's like my career, my life, you know. But if he was really for the family, for the kids, like D Wade, this is the route he would have went.
I think it's actually funny you said D Wade, right? Zaire Wade, um, was not the player Bronny wasn't even coming out of college, but he was a 2-star. He was a 2-star, 3-star, which I honestly think again was a very tipping your hat to Dwayne Wade, where he had very few offers. He had a lot of HBCU offers. At that point, the HBCU movement wasn't as big. So like he didn't want to go to NCAT, he didn't want to go to Hampton. So he decided to just go professional. And he was a partial owner of the Salt Lake City the Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
And was he a partial owner of the Jazz or the G League team?
No, it was Jazz.
It was the Jazz, and he got the G League team to draft him, and like you could tell that was just the most like you better draft my son, and they're like, well, we're gonna draft your son, and that ended horrible. That like long story short, it was bad. Zaire Wade was not a high school to G League guy. He was still built like a high schooler. He was if you're a 2-3-star high schooler playing in the G League, that's barbecue chicken every day.
He got drafted, played 12 games, and he was out. And he got hurt.
Yeah, and they
2 points.
And they sent him. And he went and they did like one more move and they put him in the BAL, which is like the NBA kind of expansion thing, like in Africa. And he had a bro, like, and the thing is like the nepotism is keeping him within like the NBA range, but like Zaire Wade is just never gonna get to the league.
Shout out the Nepo babies, man.
Like,
I feel like the NBA Nepo babies, they kind of get the red carpet versus like the NFL Nepo babies. They kind of gotta get it out the mud. You kind of like gotta be under your dad's arm a little bit.
Nah, you know what it is? Now let me finish my point first. The point is like basically like Zaire Wade like went out like his shit almost makes like Dwayne Wade's legacy look bad because like you use your nepotism on someone who just wasn't that good and like he went out kind of sad and like every year Zaire Wade is getting slower and slower just being like Dwayne Wade's son. And I think like if he had just if he had just told his son go to college, he may not have had the best college career. He probably still not got drafted, but he would have had a more respectable career like when like Marcus Jordan was at UCF or like Illinois, like all like Jordan's kids, they ain't go to the league, and they weren't gonna waste their time to put them in the league. But like he let them go to school and like they showed they weren't even that good in school, but like they they living their life and it's like this didn't work out. But like people like, yeah, bro, like Dwayne Wade put the Nepo card twice and he just failed. And I think like that's my biggest fear for Bronny. They tried he goes the Nepo route and like social media is so cool, bro. Like he gets undrafted, he goes second round, or like some team even crazy gives a first round pick on him, and like he just looks so lost out there. Like if y'all seen, like if you see like he just would look like a fish like out of water, and I don't want that from him. I want him to at least have a respectable thing where it's like, you know what, he killed it at Duquesne. So when he gets drafted, I can be like, no, like it's yes, he got drafted because his dad, but like no, like he did good versus like he averaged like what can someone pull up his stats? Like his stats weren't that good this year. And stats aren't everything, but like everyone also that saw him play was like, this guy is not ready. And I don't want him just to end up in like the G League wasteland.
He's also expediting it to fulfill the I want to put my dad storyline. And that could hurt him. So it's like I would rather, and I guess if you're gonna develop as a pro. But honestly, I think he can go to Duquesne for a year, and then declare, and then the Broncos just put on cruise control.
And I feel like LeBron, I feel like he can retire and then come back at like a 1-year veteran minimum just to play with his son. You don't gotta force your son to accelerate his career. Like LeBron's averaging 27, 7, and 7 still. Like, yeah. Let's be serious. I feel like even like a good team, LeBron on a 1-year minimum, like that's still gonna help your basketball culture and build your brand.
Literally, he could do with Jordan. He could take a a year or two off or so, come back. Like it's no like there's really no rush. And if it's not in his cards to play with his dad, bro, like it's not the end of the world. Like like you said, like NFL, like never be able to get out the mud. You know what's crazy? You know what I realized? The pipeline, like if you're an NBA nepo baby, you have to be better than your dad. Like all the bum or like the role player or less NBA dads produce great kids. Del
Jabari
Curry, like
Smith,
yeah,
Del
Jamar Smith,
Curry.
Del Curry, Michael Thompson. Um, I guess the only person that failed was Kenyon Martin because Kenyon Martin's son is not as good as he was. But like all of them, like
Kenny Moore is a number one overall pick.
yeah.
So
So
he
yeah,
was
but like
already kind of.
yeah, but like Grant, like Harvey Grant, he had like he Jeremy Grant is doing really well. Like there's so many like we don't have to go down the list, but like all these more role player or like average or even like really bad NBA players, and they had sons, they all became really good. But the really good players, generational players, when they had kids, it was not as
mm.
good. That was like my random like thing I started to like kind of connect the dots on. Because if you think about it, name like a really good player that had a kid and then proceeded to like and they had a really good career. Because even like for instance, John Stockton had David Stockton, and
Yep.
like he played 1 year with the G League in the G League, and that was it.
I mean, what are your thoughts on Tim Hardaway Jr.?
Oh yeah, I guess Tim Hardaway Jr. would be like one of the few exceptions.
Tim Hardaway
Yeah.
Jr. best NBA dad.
Hmm.
I mean,
Steph?
he actually raised and trained somebody who was able. Oh, Del Curry. No, I'm talking like actual like good player.
Yeah, you were nice. Hmm.
Like Tim Hardaway was nice. Tim Hardaway Jr. isn't bad either. He's a
Del Curry was nice.
Yeah, Del Curry was nice, but like but like let's be real, like Tim Hardaway was probably a better player.
yeah.
I think
Yes. Yes. Okay. That's fair.
he was a better player. Like Del Curry was like a great role player, like an elite role player even, but like Tim Hardaway was like a star almost, but like
Good point. Good point.
but
But
yeah.
honestly, I feel like if you're a great NBA player, I feel like you're cursing your kids by telling them, yeah, pursue what I pursued. Like you should tell them to go do something else. Like, yes, everybody wants to be like their parents, especially if their parents are of high regard in the community, but you're cursing them by putting such an immense amount of pressure on them. They're going to spend their whole life trying to train to be something that they'll ultimately fall short. And honestly, you have to think most NBA players, if you're a star, you have to have ego and a level of narcissism at some point. You think Michael Jordan wanted his kids to be good at basketball?
Completely
No,
focused.
no, there's no way. If anything, he wants his kids to still be under his wing. That's why they have a store selling their father's shoes because they get all the exclusives from their dad. True nepotism. Like it's one thing to if you're aspirational and your father's like a career businessman or something like that. I feel like it's like okay, but to reproduce that level of athleticism, it's also like your parents got to consciously be thinking, how can I help give you the genetic lottery that I want? And I feel like
Okay, but
can not like
That's so crazy to say. I feel like
yeah,
it's more. I, they were basically said like, oh yeah, I want my son to be great, so it's not as great as me, face ass. Like
like
I don't like
what?
that's wild. But I think what
like
it
Michael
is.
Jordan has thought that. I feel like Michael.
Nah, I think like don't get me wrong, Michael Jordan. I look up to him because he's just because of how competitive nature. But I don't think he thinks that. I think like, and if he did, like, I think he would also just be like, well, shit, I'm just gonna go really hard to raise the bar, and hopefully like they'll be competitive to reach it. But I think like what it is to agree, like, and this may be it may be like a wild take, but I think when
Oh,
you're
I
so
want to.
when you're so great and you're so good, like there's an amount of luck, there's an amount of like just like the odds were truly in your favor situation, but it's also like you're like you're not able to see the shit that like every other person doesn't have not even the luxury, but this has to see where like LeBron, like LeBron is like arguably the best basketball player of all time. Like, how is he like 6'9", crazy, like the most gifted athlete ever, gonna tell his 6'4" son like all the things to do? Like, bro, like LeBron has always just been the chosen one. But like if you look at like your Jabari Smith's dad, who was a good basketball player, he made it to the league, got drafted, but he was a bad NBA player. He knew all the things he did wrong. He knew all the shortcomings. He knew exactly what he needed to do to probably, if he in his next life, to do better. LeBron is like, damn, like I don't really know what I should have not done because he was just so
Man, what
great.
it is.
Like the best parents have probably failed, and they succeeded obviously, but like they failed so much. And not to say that Michael Jordan and LeBron and Kobe and everyone else is great haven't failed, but like they're just the best. Like they're just the best, and in theory they know what it means to get there. But I feel like it's so hard. Like it's just always gonna be so hard to replicate that. Versus like Del Curry's like, even Del Curry didn't think Steph Curry would be as good as he is. But like a lot of these other NBA kids, NBA stars who like they made the league, but they weren't that good. Like they know where they went wrong. They know they know the real do's and don'ts from like a just to get where they were, and they were pretty either mediocre, bad, or average. So they
Gary
have more knowledge to be better.
Yeah, look at Gary Trent Sr. Went to Ohio for a couple of years. He was a lottery pick. Put in a good amount of time. Gary Trent Jr. He went in the second round, and he's playing for Toronto right now. He's putting up decent numbers.
Yeah,
He's having a better career than his dad already.
literally, he's doing like Glenn Robinson. His son, Glenn Robinson
Money
the third.
Rice.
Like Glenn Robinson the third, like Glenn Robinson was good, so Glenn Robinson the third sucked. Glenn Rice was good, so Glenn Rice the third decided to go to jail. Like it's just levels to it.
I I might have to go as far to say that you kind of have to be a bad parent for your kids to be great. But hear me out. Hear me out.
What?
Hold on.
You mean you have to be a
Wait.
bad player?
Wait,
For your
hold on,
kids to
hold
be
on,
great?
hold on. Wait. Because you have to look at this. What is greatness born out of? Greatness is born out of adversity. What adversity do you think Zaire Wade has faced in his life? What adversity do you think Ronnie James has faced in his life? You fly on private jets with your father. You go to any NBA game you want. You probably get rappers for your birthday parties like it's a bar mitzvah.
So,
Like,
time out. So you mean to tell me if you don't get out the mud, you can't be good?
I'm not saying you can't be good, but to be great, you either have to have some type of catalyst, and maybe it doesn't come from home. Curry's catalyst was the doubt on him was so crazy during college that he took that and applied it and multiplied it on those different economies of scale. You have to have something. And a lot of these guys, they don't experience that something until they ultimately fail when they get to the NBA. You need some type of early adversity, which to your point, Ian, of Bronny should go to Duquesne. He's already experienced that adversity at USC of, oh, you think we're going to just give you everything because you're LeBron's son? No. Low minutes. Yeah, you're scrappy. Don't care. You're not going to get the time you want. You've entered the transfer portal. If anything, he's making the right decision. But it's really about, is he going to make that basketball decision to play for that lesser known program, to really get it out the mud, to really have less eyes on him so that he has to grind. This will really be his first time not in the spotlight to the same degree that he's always had. Of course, he'll always have eyes on him. You know what I mean? Like, for goodness sake, he's on commercials for like Android right now. But this will truly give him that space to actually grow.
That's a very fair way to look at it. I definitely agree with that to agree. I just think that I don't think it's like you have to be a bad parent. I was so crazy. I think it's just
Yeah.
like I think on one hand, and this could be like a more like philosophical thing, like they were like Michael Jordan and LeBron and them, like they were still like, don't get me wrong, they're all probably good dads, but like they so much focus on their craft still to stay on the top of their game. maybe it's like they're good. They won't put as much as an early age from basketball, but also maybe they didn't want them to go. I don't know. 'Cause I feel like that could be any, whether you're a good or bad NBA player. I just think that I just feel like it's something about the fact that honestly they failed at the NBA. They are a lot more strategic about how they can make their sons better, or like, or just also I think like I feel like when they're not as good in the NBA, they think more family. So like they're doing it to make sure that their family can eat. Then they send them up and they're thinking more like I'm gonna be a family member. It's like I need to make a legacy. Like I don't think Jabari Smith's dad was like I need to make a legacy. I think he's like okay, I need to make sure that I can maximize my whatever how many single years I have in the NBA, and then I can say like I made it. I didn't do well, but like I know what my son would have to do if he was to do this. And I think that I don't know. I feel like when you fail a lot more and you're not as good, like it's easier to, you know, have to know what it takes. Because we were like Popovich wasn't a good basketball player. Like all these top coaches weren't good basketball players, and they know the game better than some of the greats. And they end up making the game and making these greats as great as they are. And but I feel like it's hard. I feel like this is a little harder because it's almost like reality. Like think about it. Imagine waking up being LeBron. That's just a reality that like it's not really reality, but I could relate a little bit to I don't know, fucking Jabari Smith's dad because at the end of the day he's a regular person. Like he's probably just way taller than people, but like you can't relate to that.
Yeah,
That's true.
good point. Good point.
It's like one of those like less than 1% of a chance type of circumstances, and I'm waiting to see who will be essentially the first since Steph Curry to capitalize to the highest level, right? And
Wait. Clarify that.
like who will be like the first, well, the next son of the son of a NBA player, especially somebody who honestly it hasn't been done. The son of a star to actually reach that same level or exceed your parent. I want to see who that person is going to be. I can't tell right now if it's going to be Bronny. From what you guys are telling me, it doesn't sound like it's going to be Zaire, but I wouldn't count him out. He's less than 23 years old.
Brother, that guy is that brother is that's not he's not the one. I don't know.
Hey, maybe he takes the time to recover after his injuries and things. Maybe the BAL is a little scrappier and helps him develop. Maybe. I don't know. I don't watch the BAL.
I think he's I fear that brother is truly cooked. I think Sharif O'Neal had a solid. I think Sharif O'Neal did so good at developing his from his junior to senior year in high school, and I think that heart thing really set him back. And I think picking UCLA set him back. And
Mm-hmm.
he was with the G League Ignite, and things didn't work out. He's not even playing right now. I think he signed the 2A at the beginning of the year and then eventually got waived. Like he's not playing basketball right now. And I think there's some beauty in the fact that these guys are sons of greats and they're realizing there's life outside of basketball. Like Miles O'Neal, Shaquille O'Neal's son. He's like, yeah, I'm 6'5", but I just want to, I want to DJ and I want to do fashion. Yeah. But the nigga's he's just 6'5" with Shaq's genes boosting through his blood and say, I didn't want to do this basketball stuff. And I feel like it'll be nice in a lot of ways if it doesn't work out that they're also able to find lives outside of it because I think like I couldn't imagine waking up being Bronny. I couldn't imagine waking up and being Bryce James. I couldn't imagine waking up being like the sons of NBA greats. It's probably so much pressure, and it's nice to see some of them just be like, you know what, like I just don't want to do this, and they go out and they do whatever, and hopefully, even if it's not basketball, they don't like take like that whole like stereotypical nepo baby route where they just have the money and just do whatever. And maybe they try to do something what that really makes them happy, and I think that is pretty cool. I don't foresee Bronny James not playing basketball, but I think he'll do like a thing where like he'll get to the league and he'll do where remember he's like with FaZe Clan or whatever. Like
Yeah.
he may try to be like he might be one of the NBA players that always like to stream. I don't know, but it should be interesting where he go like what Bronny James goes. If he stays in the draft this year, I'm gonna be kind of like I am fearful what happens, but like at the end of the day, like we all know that's LeBron's son, so it's gonna work out in some theories. It just may not be as nice to look at.
Well said. Well said. But let's change the temperature a little bit, guys. Hit us with some cold facts, Dan.
Okay. So after we see that Zach Edey had a very historic tournament run in the March Madness tournament. He became the first Division One player to record 900 points and 450 rebounds in a single season. The first since Larry Bird in 1979.
Does that mean it'll translate? That's still my question. Because it's like, yeah, he got the size, but it's like, to me, I'm still questioning it. Let's wait and see, in my opinion.
I feel like we had to again. This is another one of those defining what exactly. How do we assess what the expectations of a prospect is if they're merely a prospect?
I think when your records are being compared to Larry Bird, I better not see you be a role
It's
player
just
after 6 years.
numbers. It's just numbers.
I'm just saying the devil's in the details, and you just told me that he's comparable to Larry Bird. That's
No,
not a player comp in my head. Sorry.
no. I okay. My second cold fact: two-thirds of retired NBA players have played for one team throughout the tenure of their career and won the title with that team.
So if you're good enough to stay on the team, there's a 66% chance that you'll get a ring.
Yes.
That makes me pose the question now. Some of these players like Jason Tatum, Devin Booker, do you think these guys are going to get a ring in their career?
Jason, damn, I feel like Jason Tatum's gonna get one. He should.
Yeah, I don't think he'll get one as the star, though. I think it'll be in the later half of his career.
What? Anyway, Luka, Jason Tatum, I think we'll both get some jewelry somewhere down the line. Yeah.
Honestly, this year might be Devin Booker's year.
To do what?
Get a ring.
I'm going to sleep.
He's got KD. He's got who else he got? Chris Paul. No, Chris Paul's not on that team.
No.
To
KD, bro.
Get a phone call, maybe. Like somebody might call his phone. That might ring.
Maybe he might propose, bro. Like, what's
right.
Like, he got Beal. You got Beal, KD, and Devin Booker. That's a.
You got okay. So you got.
Oh, they're getting blown out by the Clippers right now.
Devin Booker.
I was like, bro, I'm away from him to look up the record of stuff.
Yeah, like a bunch of scorers like don't play defense. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe they're like one or two defensive pieces away from being a championship team.
No, I'm not gonna lie, no, but not at all, bro. They like their core, like their three cores, like it's calm. But when you look at their cap space, you look at their pieces around them, they spending so much on Bill's crazy contract and Book and KD. They were basically signing straight vet minimums to free agents.
They were just signing guys.
Like they were literally signing guys, and they're like, well, guys, we do need a center. So let's find a center that will take this. Like they literally spent like 75% plus on their cap hit on three guys and had to sign the other 9-10 players to vet minimums. Like that is wow. Like that's some like 2K my GM malpractice.
And they're old as dirt. Like Royce O'Neal 30, Nurkic 29, Booker 20. Like they're old. Eric Gordon's on this roster.
Yeah, Eric Gordon is still finding a way to stay in the league, bro. Shout out him, but like yeah, it's a very old. It's like there's such a old team that and the young piece that they have, they can't really develop them, and they're also not really showing. Like I was a big Nas Little fan, and he hasn't panned out the way I wanted to pan.
Wait.
Bolt. Bobo hasn't really panned out either.
Come on, is this Thaddeus Young?
Oh yeah, Thaddeus Young. Don't get
Is
me
this
wrong.
Thaddeus?
Don't get me wrong. Thaddeus Young is a very solid. He's one of those guys where it's like he has, even though I don't think he's for that stat you said, he's been in the league for like 17, 18
16,
years.
yeah, 16.
Yeah, and he had, I don't think he got a ring yet. He could,
Nope.
but I don't matter. I think he went to the Rico Hines and said, like, I wasn't meant to be one of the best players in the league. I wasn't meant to necessarily get a ring, but like above all, like
I'm
we do
still,
it.
yeah, like I'm
Still
still,
here. I'm getting
yeah.
paid.
Hey,
Like,
he's made 150 million in his career, so I don't think he's complaining.
yeah, he not. I wouldn't complain either. I would be like, yo,
How
my son be
much?
like, my son be like, oh,
Man,
my son be like, oh, like I'd be like, oh, I played against LeBron. Oh yeah, but Dad, you suck. I wasn't LeBron, but look at this house we live in. We
man,
vacation 8 times a year.
150 M's? Man, listen.
And I think that's also another thing when we talk about money with these players, people don't really consider that NBA money is so much more than
Disrespectful.
NFL money. It's like
It's
crazy.
disrespectful.
Uh, a bench warmer is making
It's
like what a bench warmer in the NBA is making what, like 10 million a year,
I mean,
maybe.
I think the minimum, I think the vet minimum is like two. I think a minimum contract now is like two or so. So like someone can fact check me, but like you're gonna at least have like, assuming like you're not a two-way or like you sign like those multi-year deals where your money like broken up a little more funky, but like you're gonna make money just by getting a contract.
you
Now, when you
done
take,
this. You done this. How's someone who's making $5 million for year three?
bruh, they were giving, bruh, but yeah, they were giving him the bag to some of the player coach, and they were giving him a little more because that's how much they use him as a player. I Once like you grow after like out that like that little young kid age, I always said I never wanted to be a star. I would love to be a beloved role player. You
Like,
have the best, like a beloved role player. Everyone in the league, everyone in the league doesn't love you. Everyone on the team you play for like loves you. You have like your own niche fans. You get a good payday, and if you're not like, they're not gonna look at you like, oh, we lost the championship game. It's your fault. They're like, dang, like the number one and number two guy, you're just a role player that like, when they're winning or you help them win, but you're not going to be like held and scrutinized when you don't do well. Like it's the best of both worlds. And that's what I
I
always,
would love to be Josh Howard. I feel like Josh Howard had the perfect career. Got in,
bro,
got out.
bro. I would pay money to be Josh Hart, bro. Josh Hart is one of
Josh
the,
Hart even.
bro. I would love to be Josh Hart, bro. Like he's just a glue guy. Gary Payton the second, bro.
Wait.
I
Josh
would love
Hart
to
is a
be
glue
him.
guy? Wait, hold on. Wait, Josh Hart is a star.
Yes.
Nah.
That's, wait. I what?
Bro.
I what?
I just looked at his stats, bro. Never mind.
Stop
I
saying
what?
Listen, but he be playing every minute on the court. He's doing what he's got to do.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's glue. He's
That's a
doing,
glue guy. Like
playing his role.
I bet. Continue.
Like he's like, bro, you don't have like bro. They're not looking at you like, oh damn. Well, Josh Hart, you only scored 10 points. Like they'd be like, oh, that's cool. Like because Josh Hart be having like he's like the master of 10, 10, and 10 all the time. 10, 10, 10, 12, 10, and 11, 12, 12, and 12. Like, bro, you don't have to be like, damn, I gotta go out every night and drop 25, 30 points and we're gonna lose.
Nah, I just gotta go hoop.
You just hoop, bro. Like real hoopers, bro. Like all you gotta do, he play hard defense. He makes the right plays. He rebounds and he can hit open shot. And if they need him to score, like he'll do that. Like that's very low, like asks. You just gotta go out and really love the game and to hoop. You don't have to be like, damn, bro, I gotta get my 40 tonight. Awful feeling.
Hey,
I'm telling you.
well said. What else you got for us, Dan? Talk to us.
Let me see. Okay. Oh, and the Ravens, the Broncos, and the Steelers have never held a number one overall pick.
The Broncos? Really? Oh, well, the Broncos just got bad recently.
Yes.
The Ravens are a young franchise, and the Steelers are always good, so that checks out.
Who did Terry Bradshaw get drafted by? Because when I was doing this,
Terry Bradshaw was like a 5th overall pick, I think.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought he went number one overall.
No, well said, well said. Well, let's talk about
Oh,
what's
no, he did. So yeah, that I was getting false information about the Steelers. I think they haven't had one since.
oh, okay.
So,
Well, I bet. So just the Ravens and the Broncos have never had one.
yeah. Since Terry Bradshaw, that was their last number one overall pick. Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers continue to go a long time without having one. I don't see the Ravens having a number one overall pick for a long time, unless we do like some type of trade package for one.
Right.
Broncos, they might get a first round pick in these next few years. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Potentially.
Wow. We still haven't even talked about what's going on in the NBA.
Wow.
Did you guys know that the Suns signed Isaiah Thomas for the rest of the season?
Thank God, bro. Stop asking.
Ooh.
But every day, bro. Every time.
Y'all need one?
No,
Y'all need
bro. You need one or like, bro. Oh my God, bro.
Isaiah Thomas is what we call the first chair barber.
Yo, I just really hate his downfall because, 2017 for the Celtics, since there's the Celtics haven't had a more clutch player since Isaiah Thomas. His fourth quarter ratings, I think he was averaging like 10 or something points per game in the fourth quarter. And for comparability, the only person who's averaged more than him in the fourth quarter in a season was Kobe. Right.
Kobe also played defense and rebounded. You know who also does those?
I'm talking about his offense right now. I'm talking about his offense. Yes, Isaiah Thomas is what, like 5'9". Yes, he's not good at defense. Obviously, he's no Spud Webb who can jump out the house. It's very clear. But I'm glad to see him on a roster because I feel like his injuries kind of cooked his career. I think it was whoever I think it was Danny Ainge was the GM at the time. He told me, he was like, yeah, I mean, you're injured, but it's like you could like play through it. You feel me? They didn't express to him the full extent of his injury. And honestly, for athletes, I feel like it's always good to get a second opinion. The league doesn't care about you. You need to care about yourself more than these teams care about you, because nobody's going to care about you more than yourself. And if you let these teams cook you, they will. They'll take you for everything. And look at him. He's making like what, 100K, not even on the vet minimum, off the G League pull-up.
Or maybe you just don't need a hoop anymore.
Hey, I mean, when you look at it, he never got the big contract. Literally, he got hurt right before the big contract. He still needs money.
That's true. That's true.
You know what I'm saying? I think let me see how much he's made in his career. Let's see.
I want to say maybe 50 or 60. If that.
I don't even think it's that. Because you have to remember, he was like the last draft pick.
He was.
Career earnings, oh, okay. He hasn't made bad money. He's made 35 mil. But when you compare it to Josh Hart is going to have made 150 million by the end of his current contract.
First round draft pick. Next.
That's fair. But still, what do you think, Ian? What are your thoughts on Isaiah Thomas?
I'm happy, on one hand, I can never hate a black man for getting his coin, bro. But I'm not gonna lie, like the way he went about it was so annoying. Like he was the you need one. They gave up on me. Like don't get me wrong, he went through a lot. His sister died and he still played. The Celtics did him. Danny Ainge did him mad wrong. Blah 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 blah. Like I understand that, but like it was just annoying because like I think we've seen a lot of players in the NBA who have just had unfortunate things happen to them. That's part of sports. Whether it's and I think like he just forced his way not for that to be the end of his story, which is cool, but at the same time it was just so annoying. It was kind of like the here nigga damn type of thing. Like, bro, okay, and that's just how I feel. But like overall, I mean, I'm happy. It's gonna suck because let's be so serious. Isaiah Thomas, the game has passed him. Like the way the game was when he was with the Celtics, and like they had all like the length in the system to where like they could hide the fact he's 5'9", 5'8", can't defend for nothing. And that was when he was like elite. Now he's a hip injury, older, and all that stuff. Like he's
Right.
gonna play. He's gonna play to the end of the season. He's gonna have that contract, but like this is his last hurrah. Like I don't think he's on like it's not gonna be anything. So I hope he enjoys the rest of this year. I hope that he's able to feel at peace if this is it. But
He needs to just mail it in and just go through the program. You're from Washington. They have the biggest program in the country. Just go there.
Be a
The Seattle program gets busy.
He could be a coach. I'm not gonna lie.
Not everyone's built to be a
I'm about to
coach.
say not every person that played basketball got to be a coach. Bro.
Hey, he could
Yeah.
start off like an assistant coach, work his way up.
Man, he can go. He can just go count his money in and be a family man.
Wow.
Like I think
So Trey Young named his all-time 5 college basketball starters. He said Jimmer Fredette, Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, Chris Webber, and Shaq. What do you guys think about this starting 5?
That teams that won a lot of games.
bro. Excuse
You
me.
got two of the greatest teams ever, two number one overall picks, and an alien. You should be fine.
So
It's a
crazy.
great 5.
That's a that's a very that's act that is a very it's a very interesting file. I'm not gonna lie.
What would you guys change?
I think Jimmer Fredette was a very funny pick. Like obviously we all know like Jimmer Fredette's obviously he's not as good as these players mentioned, but like I think even on this team because I'm not really sure how good Jimmer Fredette is like off ball, and I'm gonna say like a quick spiel on that. Basically, when Chris Paul went to the Warriors this year, they tried to experiment putting Steph Curry off ball, and I think that off ball he's not as dangerous as he's on ball, and I think Jimmer Fredette is such an elite shooter. But when people were like, "Oh, well, just make him a shooting guard and he just run like that's how he's good," no, because you realize it's not as simple as just like catch and shoot. That's why like people like JJ Redick have like I have my respect as well because they're great shooters, but like it's a lot more skill when it comes to like being able to really be like a catch and shooter. Like
Right.
Jimmer Fredette was just a guy who could pull up from anywhere, and you could hit a catch and shoot, but like that wasn't his thing. It wasn't like he was on some Ray Allen. Like he was a ball in hand guy, and I felt like Jimmer Fredette having to be now the off ball guy isn't as strong as a player, and I think like even like okay, you take him against like someone like not even like okay, put this team against like the Spur like that all like an all time Spurs team. They're gonna pick apart the fact that they're gonna pick apart Curry and Fredette on offense. I mean on defense because Curry's a solid defender. I think he's a very underweight defender, but Jimmer Fredette's food. And I
They're
think
gonna get destroyed in the pick and roll.
like yeah, pick and roll is gonna be really hard. But I don't know. I that's a very crazy, but I mean, I guess for Trey Young, someone that probably was influenced and saw that by Jimmer Fredette,
Right.
I can see why he could pick him. I don't think he's picking him based off of like
Success. I think he's just
success,
picking it up for like
influence, and like how it was
yeah,
for him.
exactly.
But yeah, I mean for all time college basketball, that's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, like if you look from NBA term, different story. But for college basketball sense, like yeah, like if you take
Yeah,
these guys
it's
in
not.
college, like Shaq was that guy, Chris Webber had a great run, KD was that guy, Steph Curry was that guy. Like these are all guys that had great runs, but like, mm, I don't off the top of my head, who is topping that? That's a good question.
I think I got a 5.
Talk to me.
Kemba Walker, Evan Turner,
Oh, wow.
KD,
Mm.
Boogie, and Anthony Davis. Wait, he used KD. So Kemba Walker, Evan Turner, Tyler Hansbrough, Boogie, and Anthony Davis. That's my 5.
Hmm.
Let me see. I don't think Boogie's taking out Shaq.
He'll take out Weber.
I still got okay. I think, because I think I'm still. I would take Olajuwon in my college basketball starting five because he was at
Yes.
Houston and he was killing.
Yes.
Or
Even
nah, I would even say Ewing. Nah, I might just go Ewing because that Georgetown Ewing might be crazy. Um,
yeah. Georgetown Union is actually a
George,
headache.
yeah, Georgetown Ewing. Who was a crazy?
Oh, that's a good point. Georgetown Ewing could definitely bump with College Shaq.
Yeah, Georgetown Ewing is definitely giving Shaq the business. I'm not gonna lie. Um,
I, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm putting Len Bias on my team personally.
So,
Sheesh, yeah, bro. I might gotta go Michael Jordan at two, Len Bias at the three. And I know that's like on some we dumped the '90s. I don't give a fuck.
oh my
I don't.
goodness.
And then I may go more recent for. I definitely gotta go more recent for a guard though. Hmm.
I'm surprised you guys didn't say like who's crazy in college.
Nah,
John.
I'm going Markel. I don't care. Markel
Oh,
and Washington. Markel Washington. Markel Washington. Nah, that's different. Nah, Markel Washington. That's my
oh,
point. That's my point guard, bro. I don't care. That's my point guard, bro.
oh.
I wonder what it would even look like if you did it by area. You had your all DMV college.
We're
You had your
Markel and KD?
uh,
What?
hold on. Let's not forget about Florida, New York, California,
Please,
uh,
please,
Georgia. Those
please,
are also some very crazy hooping areas. The
please.
DMV is different.
Markel, KD, Chris Jenkins, Jordan Harkins.
D,
Please,
D Carmelo.
if you want to, if you want to,
Yeah.
just college basketball. It gets, yeah. Come on, yeah, come on.
We'll have to do a deep dive on that one day. So the Houston Rockets have been eliminated from playoff contention. This is kind of ironic considering they were trash talking the Warriors. What do you guys think about that?
Too little, too late.
Get
Simple.
Think this indicates that they have a bright future, though.
Yes.
They kind of heated up at the end of the season and seem to be putting things together a little bit. What do you
Yeah.
guys think this says about what they could be doing in the future?
I mean, they got Ime Udoka as their coach. He's when it comes to basketball things, he's very talented. He's very skilled in that field.
He's very talented in all areas.
So I believe he'll build on that, and the future is bright. So if Şengün stays healthy, they may have even snuck into the play-in this year.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think with Şengün they definitely were doing. I think with Şengün they were definitely going farther. It's unfortunate he got hurt. I think they have. I think Jalen Green has simplified the game. He was playing very AAU high school like. He's now keeping his dribble and his moves a little more like concise. I think that's really unlocked his game. Şengün is definitely a great talent. Jabari Smith is starting to play a little bit better. Amin Thompson is just like a 0.1% athlete in the world who is gonna be really good. I think Dylan Brooks is even starting to find his stride with them.
Yeah, yeah,
So like Fred VanVleet has done a pretty good job of adjusting to the Rockets, and I think like they're like a piece or two away. Like they got Cam because they got Cam Whitmore. Cam Whitmore was a good pick for them, like a really good pickup for them. So I think like with their young guys developed, and like maybe like one more piece or so contender. But from a Warriors fan, that's what they get. Don't poke the bear, bro. Like that's what they get. And I'm not sure y'all seen like the Tari Easton has said that come out and play thing in the same
yeah,
clip he used the reference with the glass. I'm like, yeah, Curry a cold man, trying to tell you don't poke the bear, bro. But that's what they get. But I think
yeah,
all's not lost. They had a good year. Ndoka's first year back in the league, I think, right? Or a second.
yeah.
I think regardless, he's showing that like he will be the coach there for the future, and that he's done a good job, and that there's a bright future with the Rockets.
No,
I wasn't
absolutely.
sure. I wasn't sure at first. I wasn't. I thought they were going to be like the very in between. Like, are they going to be a mediocre? Like, oh, they kind of make the play every year. Like, what are they? But they have something.
Oh yeah, he was coaching Boston, very well put together. Coaching this extremely young roster in Houston, so he shows that it's not really a matter of who, but it's really him as far as like the coaching capability. So things are looking up.
Hey, facts. I have a theory for you guys. Oh, wait, I think I'm lagging a little bit. Can you guys hear me?
What's your three?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, bet. I have a bit of a theory for you guys. So I think that Trae Young is going to be traded to the Lakers so that LeBron can have a final run at an NBA championship so that he can have 5. I think this because the guard duo in Atlanta, the situation hasn't really been working out. Also, shout out Mike Porzimba because he dropped a YouTube video about this, and that's he convinced me based off of the information he presented. They have an inefficient duo, and Trae Young, he's not bad, and he's a great player, but things have just been inefficient with that new pairing that they have. And the Lakers, I think they have like a lot of picks or something of that nature. And you could potentially see like maybe like a Rui and a pick type move or something of that nature.
You would have to give up a lot of your bench and some draft picks.
I think they probably give up more picks than their depth.
Wait, is Trae Young signed to Clutch? Did I read that? Oh, he is. Oh my goodness, never mind. Yeah, he'll be a Laker. He'll be a Laker by the time this episode comes out.
I think if he becomes, see, my only thing is that I think Trae Young definitely does get moved. I think he's,
Yep.
but I think that for me, I think he fits better with the Spurs, going to the Spurs, because
The irony.
like because that pick, bro, Trae Young is a pick and roll player. That's how he's been getting his bread and butter, and he's so dangerous because of the fact that he gets that floater or whatever. Like that's how he's been scoring the last few years. He's been, yes, he can. Everyone still he can shoot, but like he's not shooting as good as people think. But like his pick and roll is so deadly, and him and Victor would be unstoppable because like, all right, he's going downhill, you collapse, or if he don't shoot that floater, if he does, you either dump it down to Wemby or you just throw it up to Wemby or you throw it back to Wemby because he can stretch the floor. Like that's so unstoppable. But I think Trae Young going to the Lakers is a solid move. I just would want to know. Well, I guess it's still a pick and roll of him and Davis, but I want to know what that means for LeBron because he's such a ball dominant player. I think Trae Young goes to Spurs and becomes their number 2 or their number 2 guy to the Victor, and it doesn't have to become like a usage issue. I feel like the usage issue goes to Lakers because even like you look at like D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell not nowhere near Trae Young, but like he's a guard that can shoot and plays in the pick and roll, but he has to diminish his role when he plays there. So I feel like that would be my only concern.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I like that Spurs take. That's interesting. That's interesting. And that would honestly be a great fit for him. No, I like that. I like that a lot.
So everyone just wants to run away from DeJounte Murray, huh? He must be the problem.
Yeah, probably. Honestly.
Golly.
I mean, when you're putting up 44 shots a game, I mean, hey, something's not adding up. You're not Kobe.
Bro what he had, like 44 shots to only have like 40 points. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah, hey, well,
letting
I
them
think
fly.
they won that game though.
They did win, but it was like, yeah, that was a little wild.
Yeah. But all right, I have a bit of a scenario question for you guys to end things off.
Shoot.
So if basketball players and football players switch sports for a day, which player from each sport do you think would excel in the new environment, and which ones do you think would struggle? You can't use Isaiah Thomas.
I really wasn't going to, but
Yeah, not for real.
All right, go ahead. Let's stick to stars. Let's stick to stars.
I feel like
We're here. How about this, Dan? You do football to basketball, and Ian, you do basketball to football.
okay. I think Miles Garrett can hoop.
Perhaps. Well, what position you got? Come on.
Yeah, put him at the what position? What do you think? The 4 or the 5?
Oh wait, how tall is Miles Garrett?
Brother.
Miles Garrett.
He's 6'4", 271.
6'4" at the 5 is crazy.
Small ball.
They still be doing that?
Yes.
I guess.
Miles Garrett, Michael Parsons.
Yeah, Micah. Actually, I'm going CJ Stroud over all of them. CJ Stroud, put him at the 2.
Cool with that.
Yeah. What you think it is?
I think. Okay. So. Oh dang. What's bro's name? Dang. He's on a two-way, but he. Oh, Kenny Lofton Jr. I don't know. He's a big boy. I think he should have. I think he definitely should have played football. He's a good basketball player. Don't get me wrong. Definitely should have played football. Um, I think is I think as wild as this is, I feel like someone like Bam Adebayo would be really good
Hmm.
playing football. He's like 6'8", but nah, there's this one guy. This is my guy, Eugene Amarui. He's 6'6". He's for the Wizards. He's a straight
Yeah.
energy, strong as I don't know what. Like, I feel like he could definitely play football if he wanted to. I don't know what sport he would be, but I can see him on some Travis Kelsey. He might like he's just an athlete, and I think like people like him would be really really good. Obviously, like people like Zion, like I feel like Zion really actually wouldn't be good at football.
Mm.
Ironically, it's something about where it's like all the signs point to it, but I feel like he wouldn't actually be good at it for whatever reason. But Eugene Amarui would definitely. I feel like he really has a football body. Um, anyone else off the top of my head? Lonzo Ball as a quarterback would be pretty good because I think Lonzo Ball. I think Lonzo Ball the quarterback would be really good. I think um who else said they played quarterback for a while? Oh, Jalen Suggs. Jalen Suggs
I
is my
feel
last
like Grant
guy.
Williams. I
Yeah,
feel like Grant Williams can play football.
yeah. Grant Williams would be another good guy, but
Yeah.
Jalen Suggs because I think he was playing football in high school. He was like that, so I think Jalen Suggs would be really good in the NFL.
Oh, well said, guys. Well said. Well said. Zion. What position would they put him at? He got to be on.
The line
He got to be a DN. He got to be a DN, bro. He got to get after it,
and
especially
the edge, yeah.
especially with that explosiveness. You know. Oh, true. He could pack on a few pounds to be a nose guard too. He's already like 284, 6'6". Bro, he gets a 350.
The intricacies of pass blocking and run blocking, I don't think you can just roll out of bed and do that.
Well, yeah, obviously it take like practice, but like, yeah, I feel like if you're skilled enough of an athlete, the bulldoze is always an option. Yeah, you're not gonna get him always, but he get coached up by like a guy like Aaron Donald or something. He could make something shake. But guys, wow, this has been a great episode. We don't put together. Hey, thank you, Ian, for coming on. Salute, salute. You know what I'm saying?
Thank y'all
I'm
for
gonna
having me.
Yeah,
Thank you. This has been great. I've
this has been awesome.
always
We
dreamed of getting to be on a podcast ever since I decided to be a Washington Wizards diehard basketball fan and just a advocate for having better resource takes. I think I love y'all podcast because y'all actually do the research. Like, I'm not sure if y'all saw, but like Stephen A. Smith was like, "Oh, Quentin Grimes, he played really good tonight." Quentin
I
Grimes,
did see that.
brother. Quentin Grimes has been gone from the Knicks for about 3 months now.
Yes.
What are we doing?
Casuals.
Like, what are we doing, guys? Come on.
TNT used to do a segment where they did who he played for. They just throw up a random hooper and see if Charles Barkley knows it. They be flaming out so much.
No, that's like Charles Barkley crash out behavior right there.
Well, yeah, he hasn't played for the next 2 months. So, oh well.
No, facts. But if you guys aren't already, please subscribe to the Fever Pitch podcast on YouTube. Follow us on one of our audio only platforms as well, whether that be Spotify, Apple Music. Give us a follow on Instagram at Fever Pitch Pod. If anything, you probably found this pod through there. We got some things in the works, and this is just the beginning, guys. Thank you so much, Ian, for coming on. And is there anything you wanted to shout out or anything of that nature?
Nah, no shout out. Shout out to y'all. Please sub to the pod. Please listen to it. My guys, they work hard. They have the great takes, the crazy takes, and they have the facts. And I think like you guys are doing a great job. And nah, no shout out for me, man. Just shoot. Hopefully next time NBA Finals season like that, hopefully I can come back, give some of my
Absolutely.
thoughts.
For sure.
Appreciate you guys.
100.
Thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Fever Pitch Podcast, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
Take care. God bless.
Yo.